This character is really struggling. I recommend this book to everyone who is having a quarter life crisis. So if you want to read someone struggle for 175 pages straight, this is the book for you. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Sid and this is Sydney Reads. In this video, I'm going to give you some book recommendations. Today, I'll recommend books about women who suck at adulting. I know what you're thinking. No one asked for this video. Why are you making this? Who is this video for? I understand your concerns. However, I'm making this video because I realized I read a lot of these books last year. To be honest, in this age of feminism and women empowerment, we always get to read about strong female characters in books and movies and everywhere nowadays, really. And that's great. That's amazing, of course. But also, not everyone is a girl boss. Sometimes when you're struggling in life, you would just want to relate to book characters for once. And that's the kind of books I will recommend to you today. So let's get started. So the first book I have is Eleanor Elephant is Completely Fine by Gale Honeyman. So this book is about Eleanor, who is in her early 30s, late 20s, and she's been stuck at the same job ever since she graduated college. She doesn't understand simple social cues, and she's obviously still suffering from childhood trauma. Now, this is the perfect example of the kind of books I'm talking about, because we see Eleanor as this person who is very weird and even a bit embarrassing at times. She is a character who is so set in her ways and her routines, and she doesn't really see her issues, and these issues are very obvious to the reader. But just by looking at the title of this book, you may already have guessed that Eleanor is a bit in denial. But Gale Honeyman really did a good job with this story. This story is very well developed. Eleanor's character really comes out of her shell throughout the book, and we really see her try to be a better person. And it's just nice seeing characters grow, which I cannot say for every character in this list. So the next book is The New Me by Halle Butler. So in this book, we follow Millie, who is also a 30-year-old, and she's just getting started with working. However, she's struggling so much with keeping a job. This character is really struggling, even more than Eleanor, okay? Because at least Eleanor has a job. Millie spends her time watching true crime, and she can't really figure things out. AKA me. I'm Millie. She seems like someone who is not ready to be in the real world. She doesn't know how to be an adult. She doesn't know how to make friends. She doesn't know how to keep a job. And the reason why I'm recommending this book is because at some point in our lives, we've all felt like an outsider. Sometimes you just feel like you didn't get the memo and everyone else know what they're doing except for you, and you just feel so bad about yourself. That's what I feel most of the time. So there are parts in this book that is really painful for me to read because I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I just want her to get her shit together. This book doesn't end in a very inspiring note. If you're looking for something motivational, this is clearly not the book for you. But if you want to read someone struggled for 175 pages straight, this is the book for you. The next book I want to recommend is Convenience Store Woman. This book is about Keiko, who is, I think, 36 years old, and she's been working at this convenience store for a very long time. Now, the difference between Keiko and a lot of the characters I'm talking about in this video is Keiko has autism, so it probably changes things. But the interesting part about this book is the discussion about someone staying in a job that others don't see as successful. Keiko seems to be very contented in her job at the convenience store, but other people keep judging her for it like it's some kind of crime to not have bigger ambitions in life. And this really reminds me of this Japanese concept called ikigai, which translates to the reason for being. And Keiko is a good example of someone who has found her ikigai and is contented in just being a convenience store woman. She's just contented with where she is in life. It makes me feel bad about how as a society we have these standards of success and how certain jobs are deemed to be lower than others. I feel like people should just stop judging other people for their career choices in general. It's just weird to me. You can't even choose a job nowadays without being judged. Anyways, let's move on. The next book I want to talk about is a book that I already talked about in this channel, which is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tessa Moshfegh. I talked about this book in my favorite books of 2020 video, links in the description below. I'm talking about this again because it fits the theme of the video, so yeah. This book is about a 22-year-old girl who lives in New York City, and one day she decided to quit her job and slip for an entire year. I recommend this book to everyone who is having a quarter-life crisis like me, especially if you're in your early 20s. I feel like you would appreciate this book even if you don't like the main character, because at one point in our lives we all have felt like isolating ourselves and sleeping our problems away. So you would probably relate to this book one way or another. Last book I want to recommend is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This book follows the main character named Rachel, who is an alcoholic, and she takes the train every single day at the same time. Every single day she passes this particular station and she would look out the window to see this couple that she was watching through the window of the train, that she named in her mind Jess and Julian. One day she found out that Jess disappeared and she somehow got involved in her disappearance. Now, I included this book in my recommendation because it features 3 female lead characters who have issues of their own and they don't necessarily suck at adulting. However, I wanted to include them because each of them has their own faults that lead to their lives being broken. So the main character is Rachel, who is an alcoholic and she can't get over her divorce. She still contacts her ex-husband all the time. The next character is the new wife of Rachel's ex-husband, and her name is Anna, and I hate Anna. The problem with Anna is she's very delusional. She lives in this facade that her life is perfect, that her family is perfect, when it's clearly not. And then we have Jess, who is actually Megan, and I don't want to say anything about her because anything I say will be a spoiler, but all I can say is she has issues of her own and she's also very problematic. I recommend this book to people who love thrillers but are tired of reading about damsels in distress and are fine with reading about women who are actually pretty terrible. This is for you. So those are my recommendations for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just feel like it's fun to have some kind of themes when it comes to recommending books. So if you like this kind of style, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to me to see more of this in the future. And thank you so much for watching. See you again on my next video. Bye!